So you want to speak like a Dunmer? Well, that's easy. Step 1. Use the words swit, fetcher or enwa whenever you can. Step 2. Smoke 6 packs a day. Step 3. There is no step 3. Stupid enwa. Stop bothering me. Filthy
swit.
Jokes aside, let's start with what most of you probably came here for. How to swear like a Dunmer, and on rare occasions, give praise like a Dunmer. In this video I'll go through all the words from the Dunmeri language that I could find on the voice lines of Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls Online, and, for 2 clips, even The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard. So, how to give praise like a proper Dunmer. Muthsera, an honorable sir or madam.
Muthsera?
Muthsera.
Hello again, Muthsera.
Hello again, Muthsera.
Bless you, Muthsera.
Muthsera Sooth is most kind.
Sarah, a more general term for sir or madam.
Your words are your measure, Sarah.
What is it, Sarah?
Yes, Sarah.
Problem, Sarah?
Sedura, an honorific term.
My master, Sedura Talvani Hordelf Xir, is at his winter estate.
Greetings, Outlander. Cedera Relassa sends her regards.
Sergio, also an honorific, though this one has a much wider range of pronunciations throughout the series.
Anara Sergio.
It's good to see you, Sergio.
Pleasant journey, Sergio.
It's good to see you, Sergio.
Sergio. Excuse me, Sergio.
Kenna, a scholar.
My master, Sedura Talvani Hordelf Xir, is at his winter estate.
And then we have Fla, a patronizing term, sometimes used almost affectionately, but also very much usable as an insult.
A fellow dark elf. What can I help you with today, Fla? Ha! My fine Fla. Well done.
Good day, Fla.
I think that counts as a success. Thanks, Fla.
And what kind of mischief are you getting into, Fla?
You're testing my patience, Fla.
Ugh, I'm drinking here. Bugger off, Fla.
Which brings us neatly to the next category, Dark Elf insults.
Grudges and curses are Dunmeri traditions dating back to the Anticipations.
Enwa, probably the most famous Dunmer insult, used for foreigners and slaves. Its pronunciation is surprisingly inconsistent, both across and within games. In Morrowind it was always Enwa. Skyrim had a mix of Enwa and Nwa, while The Elder Scrolls Online features both Nwa and Newa.
What, Enwa?
What, Enwa?
Enwa!
My Nwa of a father thought he could pull my strings.
Dirty, filthy noir. Crazy, naked noir.
Filthy Enwa! Filthy Nwa!
I don't like having those Nwa here.
In full view of the noir.
Ah, I see the noir is well informed.
Vivek, literally by vek, meaning by Vivek. Usually an expression of surprise, shock, or frustration, comparable to good lord or oh god.
Vivek! It's a dragon! Run!
Vivek! I've never seen a match like that.
What is that thing? Bavek, it wants to eat us. Bavek's buttocks. What is that thing?
Fetch, fetcher, and fetching. Another set of beloved Dunmeri swear words.
Die, fetcher!
Stupid fetcher.
Wrong, fetcher.
I'll see that Countess Umbranox knows what kind of a fetcher you are.
You can't attack my family and get away with it, fetcher.
You've done exactly as I predicted, and brought your fetching companion to me.
Get away from there, fetcher.
Hello, you fetching fetcher.
I need someone to go in there and put a stop to those fetchers.
Nachao, used in roughly the same context as we would use the word shit.
At least I have a shovel to go along with your Nachow.
Jog off, you fetching Nchow.
Nachow, don't come near me with that rot!
Sweet, the final insult on this list.
This is the end of you, Swit.
Swit of a thief.
I knew it! That Swit!
What are you doing, Swit?
What you want, Swit?
Now that we got that out of our systems, let's be serious for a moment and talk about the language itself. The Dunmer, also known as the Dark Elves, speak Dunmeri or Dunmeris, depending on the source, also commonly referred to as Dark Elvish or simply the Dark Elf language. The precursor to Dunmeri was Alt Chimeris. The Dunmer used to be the Chimer, a golden-skinned race of elves. After the Battle of Red Mountain and Nereva's death, the Chimera were cursed by Azura and transformed into the Dunmer. However, something tells me we should not fall too deeply into the rabbit hole of how exactly Dunmeri came to be. And that something is a quote by Michael Kirkbride himself. Let us be clear that etymology, in the Elder Scrolls lore, is a risky venture. More than risky. So, to avoid any further risk, let's stick to what we can clearly hear in-game. Which will mostly be single words, with a few phrases here and there. That means the Dark Elf language is nowhere near being a proper conlang. And for the uninitiated, a conlang is not a language trying to scam you, it's a constructed language. In the context of fantasy universes, famous examples would be the Elvish languages from The Lord of the Rings, or Klingon from Star Trek. The Elder Scrolls has so far not produced anything that comes even close to those kinds of fully developed conlangs. But I still think that it's fun to investigate the fragments, hints, and half-preserved linguistic leftovers we do get throughout the series. In The Elder Scrolls Online, we actually get 2 full sentences that, at first listen, sound like they might be Dunmeri. The first one comes from our beloved Dvaith Fear.
Maliad kebiet tehir! Devakrokad sint morad!
There is, however, no canonical translation. We can use context clues to infer the rough meaning though. Fear's shadow has been ripped out of him. He says, "My shadow, my power," and explains that the removed shadow is also part of his animus, or soul. After the player defeats it, he says the phrase, and then Dvaith's shadow re-enters him. So it might mean something along the lines of, "Submit shadow, return or burn." But since this is more of an incantation, rather than generic Dunmeri conversation, it might not even be Dunmeri at all. The unofficial Elder Scrolls pages list it as an unknown sentence, but then also lists the individual words in the Dunmeri dictionary. And in many instances when we hear incantations and chanting in similar contexts to what happened to Dvaith, those are in Eliadun rather than Dunmeri or other languages. Eliadun is closely related to Dunmeris still, and seems to be similar to it in many regards. We can assume that both Eliadun as well as Alt Chimeris descended from Elnofex, an ancient language spoken by the Elnofey, and Alt Chimeris later turned into the Dark Elf language. So even if what Dvaith shouts is not strictly Dunmeri, it may still sound somewhat similar. The second full phrase is given by Mistress Dratha, also in the Elder Scrolls Online.
Mormolag Kanashanta del Norgandra Abagayanye.
Dratha says it while opening the portal to Psychonos' realm. So again, the context is an incantation, and if we try to translate it word by word, we actually find all of them in other confirmed Eliadun texts. It can be translated as dark fire, dare to come, grant gift, I do not fear. So even though these 2 phrases are probably not Dunmeri, they are at the very least closely adjacent, likely Eliadun, closely related to the same broader elven linguistic tradition, and more importantly for this video, spoken by Dunmer. Even if we don't actually have full sentences spoken in Dunmeris in any of the games yet, we do have plenty of separate words, especially for places, animals, etc. Let's go through all the Dunmeri words I could find in the voice lines, apart from those we already covered in the intro, in case you already forgot, Fla. Starting with places. Alt simply means old.
I've heard it said that the Daedra have overrun the town of Aldrin.
Amur, in Molag Amur, a region in Morrowind.
Even the legendary sandstorms of Valdenfell's Molag Amur region were said to barely make a dent in them.
Arun, in Tel Arun, a Telvanni tower in Morrowind.
You lot are going back to Tel Arun.
Astula, in Shad Astula, an academy of magic northeast of Mournhold.
Welcome to Shad Astula.
Bal means stone, in Balmora for example, and translated by gentleman Jim Stacy in-game when he explained Bal Molagmer.
What do you think of Balmora, Outlander?
Bronora, as in Tel Bronora.
Not many Outlanders come to Tel Bronora.
Fel, meaning city, as in Bal Fel, city of stone.
Bal Fel was once a great city built atop an ancient center of Sheogorath worship.
Nar, in Nar Mok, a small fishing village on Vardenfell, or Muth Nar, settlement on the mainland of Vardenfell.
They killed everyone in the Muth Nar monastery and set everything on fire.
Chlormarin is one of the few Dunmer strongholds found in the voice lines thus far.
I'll meet you near the Chlormarin stronghold.
Hulin means halls, for example in Tel Hulen, a mushroom tower on Old Isra.
At Tel Hulen, the Tower Hall in Old Isra.
Isra translates to row.
Why not give old Isra a try,
Kogo means unbreakable, for example in Kogorun, unbreakable home.
You will find him in the caves of Koradur, east of Kogorun.
Molag means fire, in Molag Mar, for example, or Bal Molagmar.
What brings you to Molag Mar, Outlander?
Mora means forest, wood, for example in Balmora, Tel Mora, Sadrath Mora.
And I heard a magister came in from Sadrath Mora.
Circa Mora, a place in the Elder Scrolls Online.
Just when we need guidance and leadership the most, he left Circa Mora without a consul.
Seyda got its name from the ship called the Seyda. Why the ship was called that and whether or not it can be translated is unknown as of now.
Your speaker should look for this person in the village of Seyda on the dark elven isle of Vardenfell.
Sunar, blessing, as in Bal Sunar, translated as Stone's Blessing.
You will never escape Bal Sunar!
Stone's Blessing. That's what the name means. The Dark Elves constructed it centuries ago.
Tel means tower, in Tel Mora, and so on.
We make regular runs to Suran and Tel Mora.
Valenvarion, another Dunmer stronghold.
Ensure they cleanse Valenvarion, the ruin east of here, and you'll be handsomely rewarded.
Varanis, name of a region in Elder Scrolls Online.
Heard a rumor that some goblins in Varanis took over a cave.
Vos, like in Telvos.
Records showed her buying passage aboard a sailing vessel named the Pride of Telvos, but that's where the trail ran cold.
Apart from Dunmeri words that are either literally just names of places or used in the names of places, there are many others that can be found in the voice lines. Betmer, translated as Beastman or Beastmer, so a word for Argonians and Khajiit.
You know how the Khajiit are like mer but cats? They're a Betmer race. Beastmer.
Kamona, in the guild Kamona Tong. No canon translation provided yet.
Your Kamana Tong, act like it.
Deisul, used in the phrase Deisul Brohad, he who consumes my brother's soul, a name of a sword encountered in the Elder Scrolls Online.
My sword is a relic, a true warrior's blade. And like all true blades, it bears a name. It is called Deisul Brohad, he who consumes my brother's soul.
Then the word Dunmer itself, which means dark folk or dark elves.
What is it, Dunmer?
Michael Mack, who voiced the male Redguards in Morrowind, managed to sneak in a little hidden insult of sorts in some of the voice lines mentioning the Dunmer.
Please speak, Dumner. Greetings, Dumner. What can I do for you? Do you have something to say, Dumner?
Did you catch it? Dumner? Might just be a slip-up, but I think it fits perfectly in the insult-heavy culture of Vardenfell. Dwemer means deep folk, deep elves, dwarves. If you want to learn more about their language and how to pronounce their creatively spelled ruins, I made a video about that a while ago.
Preposterous! That research represents years of personal toil in some of the most dangerous Dwemer ruins in Skyrim.
Nithir means change, and Wagnithir apparently is the bad kind of change.
Membership in the Sigic Order will bring you both prestige and power, but such honors often lead to Wagnithir, the bad change.
Gwar, the large bipedal reptile native to Morrowind.
I've fought Gwars more ferocious than you.
Indoril probably means blessed folk.
Together they pick apart the carcass of ruined Indoril.
Lecha. This one needs a bit more context. It only appears in the Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard. It's one of the two presumably Dunmeri phrases the Dark Elf Dram can shout during combat.
Lecha and day.
We have no idea what it means, but since it's shouted during battle, we can assume it's nothing nice. The other line from Dram is
The tower left are two.
In the actual voice line, the first word of the transcript is missing entirely, and the ending of Chitawa left seems almost Dwemer to me, where luft is a common building block. Mera, or Mehra, probably means priest.
They might, but I've never been good at listening to what the Mehras say.
One day, in full view of the Niwa, the Mera of Coal Canton crushed some muck sponge pulp into a netch's tentacles.
Masti, a cheap sultry spear native to Morrowind, pronounced either Masti or Maste.
How about I just settle for some Maz tea and we'll forget I mentioned it?
A mug of local brown, master.
Netch, the airborne jellyfish-like creatures.
Big Head knows a secret about blades. Point them out, never in. Blade is out, poke, poke, poke. Kill the Grandpa Netch.
Nix, used to describe several insectoid creatures found across Morrowind, like the Nixhound and Nixox. And also seems to be used as a substitute for something like shit or damn.
Those Nixhounds won't take me.
Any luck with that blasted Nixox?
While there are lives at stake? I couldn't give a nix.
Ra means staff.
Sunara, the blessed staff? I suppose the name fits.
Sar-Shamand. No translation yet, but it might be yet another insult.
I remember hearing her call him a Sar-Shamand fetcher.
Sarathu, in Sarathu Tong, a syndicate of outcast mages.
Vaveli Indivel represents the Sarathu Tong, a syndicate of outcast mages who control a lot of trade in the city.
Sharmat, the devil, according to Kirkbride, inspired by the real word shaitan. It's the word for Satan used in the Islamic religion.
The Sharmat, lurking, waiting, curses beneath the mountain. Hear me, incarnate, hear me.
Shane, a Combury wine native to Morrowind.
Spiked the Shane with some Telvanni brews once. Won't ever do that again. Took a week to scrape the tentacles out of the cask.
Suna means blessed.
Sunara, the blessed staff?
Sujama, a Dunmer liquor, used to carry great burdens. If you know, you know.
They serve the best Sujama I've ever tasted of it for wretched Netch. Worth every coin.
Tong means guild.
Duty and honor, thinker of the Morag Tong.
Another interesting aspect of the Dunmeri language is the writing system, or rather, the writing systems. Dunmeri is usually written with the Daedric alphabet. For example, you can see it on the signs outside many of the larger settlements in Morrowind. These signs often use letter clustering, where words are not written simply from left to right or right to left. Instead, the letters of each word are arranged around the initial letter, which is typically larger than the rest. A good example is this banner hanging in Nisses. If we translate it, it says, "The thrice-sealed house withstands the storm."
The thrice-sealed house withstands the storm.
And here you can see how those Daedric letters were arranged into clusters on the banner. In this case, the Daedric symbols can be directly transliterated into English letters, so the phrase itself is not actually written in Dunmeri. It is English text written in Daedric script. But in universe, I think it is reasonable to assume that this would represent Dunmeri rather than English. And then there is a separate, less frequently used Dark Elf script. We first come across it in The Origin of Cyrus, the comic included with the release of the Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard. We can also see it in one of Michael Kirkbride's sketches. However, this script seems to be used only rarely, and most prominently around the closing days of the Second Era, while the Dark Elves typically use the Daedric script, both before and after that period. At this point you might be thinking, what about the Daedric ruin names? Those are Dunmeri and hard to pronounce. How could you forget about those? But they will have to wait for an upcoming video dedicated to the Ashlander dialect of Dunmeri. Hope to see you then.